What up, homeboys? I am gonna teach you how to hit level 28 as fast as possible. If you hit level 28 already, this is gonna be very important for you to farm Scarlet Monastery. I am gonna teach you how to actually power farm with the new runes. We are gonna be going for RFK for this, but you can apply all of this knowledge to Scarlet Monastery, Graveyard in particular. That is gonna be insane. I'm probably gonna do a guide on that tomorrow, so get ready for that. Basically, this is a spellcleave, but do not be fooled. There is a couple non-casters that work pretty good here. If you are a shaman and you have shamanistic rage, you can work out as an excellent buff to the mages. If you are a hunter and you got explosive shot, they are actually pulling quite nasty damage. They are keeping up with the mages, so hunters are welcome here. And of course, rogues, whenever you actually get your rogue rune and the shuriken throw, I haven't figured out where it is now. I think nobody has discovered it yet. Yeah, you can do that too, I guess. Anyway, I am a bear, I am none of those. What am I doing here? I am a puller. Okay, my job is to pull as many mobs as possible and to stack them cleanly so the mages can pretty much one-clap them. I am going to show you the last few runs I did because it took me a long time to actually figure out how to do it optimally. But basically with the Boon of Black Fathom, you can actually quite literally outrun the mobs. And if you toss a little heal on yourself, you can pretty much go on forever. Now, we are not gonna go on forever because there is a phase where I actually will die. If I had like a super good mage next to me that ran alongside me and he would like cold all the mobs or something like that, maybe we could pull it off. But for the sake of simplicity and for the sake of feasibility, we're just gonna focus on like the medium-sized pulls, like 30 mobs or so. I think it's a good compromise between like speed and difficulty, but in theory, yes, you can actually pull the whole damn place if you feel like it. We're gonna run through this hallway and we're gonna do this little loop-the-loop. I'm gonna speed up here. And basically, remember, I'm gonna throw a heal on myself, walk to the side to make sure I'm not getting dazed, and we are gonna pull everything. Make sure to tell everybody that do not heal you and to not actually tap the mobs before we actually stack them, because if they just tap one mob or if your healer throws one heal, all the aggro is gonna go to them, and that means they are gonna die. Or you are gonna have to stop running to pick them up, and that means, you know, like you're gonna pull up a tiny pool instead of the big pools you deserve. Once you think you had enough, it's probably about 20 mobs, 30 mobs that you can handle reliably if the people are paying attention. Then you stop, you try to line of sight everybody at the same time. And you gotta instruct your mages in particular to not live in flame until every mob is stacked up, or most of them, right? You really do not want to waste the uptime of Living Flame, because if you throw 3 Living Flames and a couple fire bombs on them, Living bombs, the mobs are gonna get almost one shot. The hard part is not the damage, the hard part is keeping them stacked so all the damage actually hits the mobs. So yes, ideally you want to get every mage that is there with a regeneration rune, because Living Flame regeneration, they out-heal the mobs basically. Once you pull all the mobs and you stack them in the line of sight spot, the healer is going to try to pump you up, so that's going to be a challenge. So the mage has very little time to work on it. Basically, they gotta throw beacon on you, they gotta throw Living Flame into the group of mobs, and then they gotta throw beacon on themselves, because as soon as you start getting healed from the beacon, they are gonna pull aggro, so they also need the heals. This is gonna be the job of one of the mages. Now the other mages can do the same. This is sort of a daisy chain kind of following in here, where like now the second mage is gonna beacon the other mage that is taking all the damage, and then beacon himself, and so on and so forth. If you are feeling really brave, you can run 4 mages and you still can do this and take very little damage and be very efficient at it. Now the mages should do only like 2 living bombs, that should be plenty. As soon as they all pop, the guys are gonna die really fast. The Living Flame is gonna do most of the work for them. After that they can spam Arcane Explosion, but for the most part I think they are better off just holding the mana and just waiting again to do more living bombs when the other ones run out or something. Now you may feel tempted that the second you start taking damage to actually Frost Nova them so they cannot hit you anymore, and that is quite a thing you're gonna have to manage, but you do not want to do it right away, okay? You wanna get some of the healing of your beacon to you and like heal out of the damage that you take. You wanna tank some of it, so you can actually take the most value out of your Living Flame as possible before you actually Frost Nova away. Of course, if you have 3 or even 4 mages, that is not much of an issue anymore because you have infinite Frost Novas, but for everybody else that's kind of a problem. Now at level 26 you are gonna get Cone of Cold. We didn't have it because we didn't wanna go back to Thunderbluff to train it, but ideally you can have one person or all of them actually just use Cone of Cold on cooldown to actually slow the mobs, and that's gonna make it a lot harder for the mages to hold survivability on it. You do not need that though, you can pretty much face tank him until you start taking too much of a whacking, and then you Frost Nova out and go. Now as I am the druid, but if you are a paladin puller or if you are a shaman puller, this will apply to you too. You can never hope, maybe the paladin can, but you can never hope to hold aggro against all these guys, okay? They are pulling AoE, you got no AoE, so what are we gonna do? Once I pull in and stack him, I wait until the mage pulls aggro off me. I'm gonna try to swipe or do whatever until that happens. The mage will inevitably pull aggro off me because they are doing full AoE on them. So as soon as that happens and the mobs are not hitting me, I am gonna shift out of form and I am gonna heal. I cannot hold aggro and I cannot do any decent damage in AoE anyway, so that's the only real valuable thing I can do. And that means that warrior pullers are not gonna work very well. Spamming the moralizing shout is not gonna pull aggro, and that will make them pretty useless after the mage pulls aggro. But otherwise, at this point, you just keep the mages alive and let them pump, let them have it. If you're stacking them cleanly, which is not easy, you're gonna have to line of sight. We're gonna see a couple clips of me doing it right. We're not gonna show you the many clips of me not doing it right. By the way, you can fix cuff pulls, that's not the end of the world. But if you do a clean pull, you are gonna see so satisfying. 3 living flames, very stacked, hitting every single mob. The mobs are gonna get almost one clapped. Otherwise, if it is not the cleanest pull, but it is competent, within 12 seconds when the first living mobs blow up, that's when they are gonna die. And that takes me to the next thing. You wanna save one Frost Nova, and that is for when the actual mobs start running away from everybody. You wanna drop that Nova right when they start doing that, because they are all gonna go down at the same time, you know, AoE. So you Frost Nova them so they do not run away. And that means they are gonna keep taking all the AoE damage at the same time and they are not gonna struggle, okay? The dangerous part about this whole thing is the stragglers. If the mobs are all spread out, you die. Also, I am gonna show you this pull right here. This pull in particular I gotta teach you how to do. This is gonna be the caster pull. This sucks, okay? What you gotta do, ideally you can do this too if you range pull it, but ideally what I do is I have my hunter or a warlock send his pet to this guy that I just marked, and I just pull the other side. And we just meet in the middle, and I meet against this wall so we can line of sight every single one of them at the same time. You can also do this little hallway that leads to Overlord Ramtusk, just the inner hallway. The other sides, they are level 29, it is not worth it. They take too long to kill, they got like mana burns, it's a pain in the butt. You can do it, but it sucks. I can easily at this point, now that I know the route, do the whole thing, the whole hallway in one go. What I really like about spell cleaving is how insane in theory you can get if you're really good at it. I am gonna show you the exact route here. We're gonna go all the way here, we're gonna drop down, we're gonna kill all the boars, then we're gonna paddle all the way back, we're gonna do a different loop, we're gonna do the whole way of the 27 guards. They are a little tougher, but you can do it in one pull, and then we go back and we reset. A full run of this took about 12 minutes and I got a quarter of a level almost every single time. If you have a competent group of the same people and you're not having to struggle with getting new replacements every run and so on and so forth, like your guild is in a Discord, you can easily go from 25 to 28 in less than 2 hours. And just you wait, because Scarlet Monastery is gonna get even crazier. We're gonna be talking about that tomorrow or past tomorrow. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have, but just you wait for it, it's gonna get nutty. Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.